Fast, focused, and fearless. Here's everything you need to know as you jumpstart your day. I'm Diego Castro. Manila City Mayor Hani Lacuna assures the public that no new infrastructure can be built in place of the historic Manila Central Post Office after it was gutted by fire on Sunday night. Speaking to 1PHS sa Totoo Lang, Lacuna explained that the Central Post Office was built in an institutional zone based on the city's zoning ordinance. With this, Lacuna says the post office will be restored and that no other structure is allowed to take over the site. Employees of the Manila Central Post Office will temporarily be working at an office near Del Pan as authorities and the local government restore their central office.
Actually, yung kinatatayuan po ng Manila Central Post Office ay isang institutional zone. Ibig sabihin po, ang pwede lang po doon ay mga opisina, mga historical structures, ang pwede lang po doon matayo. Wala pong maaaring pwedeng ipatayo doon na o hindi po natin pwedeng sirain kung ano po yung nakatayo na doon.
In the same program, Lacuna also said that the 8-hour-long massive fire incurred damage worth an initial estimate of 300 million pesos. Lacuna noted that the post office has no installed water sprinklers as it is an old structure. Still, the Manila mayor said she has instructed the Manila Fire District to inspect other old buildings in the city to make sure that such fire incidents will be prevented in the future.
Nagbigay po ng instructions sa Manila Fire District na pagtingin po ang kanilang paglilibot at pag-inspect ng lahat ng mga buildings dito sa lungsod ng Manila, lalong-lalo po yung mga old buildings.
Plunder convict Janet Lim Napoles has been acquitted by the Sandigan Bayan in 16 counts of graft relating to the pork barrel scam, which also involved Senator Bong Revilla, who was likewise acquitted of the charges back in 2021. Napoles, however, was also found guilty in 2 graft and 2 malversation cases. In a decision released and dated May 22, the Anti-Graft Court's First Division finds Napoles not guilty of 16 counts of violation of the anti-graft law. The court ruled that the graft charges were already predicate in the charge, where she was previously convicted of plunder in 2018. This means the acts imputed to Revilla, Napoles, and others in the plunder case and this particular graft case are essentially the same. The court basically refused to punish Napoles twice for the same act. But as mentioned, there is a separate ruling also released on Thursday, this one from the Sandigan Bayan 2nd Division. Napoles was found guilty of 2 counts of graft and 2 counts of malversation of public funds in the misuse of the PDAF fund of the late Davao del Sur Representative Douglas Cagas. Napoles was sentenced to 6 to 10 years imprisonment for each count of graft and 12 to 17 years imprisonment for each count of malversation. This ruling is for a separate case in 2007, where Cagas endorsed a non-government organization controlled by Napoles as project planner, giving them 7.6 million pesos without undergoing public bidding. Despite the developments, Napoles will remain in detention at the Women's Correctional. One of the suspects in the killing of Negros Oriental Governor Roel Degamo has recanted an earlier testimony. In his counter affidavit, Judiel Rivero alias Osmundo said he has nothing to do with the murder. He added that he does not personally know Congressman Arnie Teves, who is now being pointed as the mastermind.
Masasabi namin siya ay tinorture sapagkat sangayon sa kanya, sinakluban siya ng plastic sa kanyang ulo at tinalian ng alambre yung kanyang lieg. Hanggang ngayon, pwede nyo makita yung marka sa kanyang lieg at lumubo ang kanyang ulo.
Rivero also accused some police personnel of torturing him into tagging Teves in the crime. He already filed a petition for habeas corpus for his release following the supposed illegal arrest.
Meron po kasing 3 affidavit na ginawa at isinalaysay si Mr. Osmundo Rivero. Pero ang lahat ng ito ay kanyang inirerekant na.
We'll be back with more stories after the break. Keep it here on One News. You're still watching One News Now. I'm Diego Castro. Attorney J.R. Tugade has stepped down as Chief of the Land Transportation Office, but the DOTR says no name has been floated yet for his replacement. In a statement, Tugade cited differences in the methods of the Transportation Department and the LTO on how to succeed in serving the public. Tugade said his decision to resign should allow DOTR Secretary Jaime Bautista to choose someone he can work well with. The LTO chief's resignation comes amid several issues in the agency, such as the shortage of plastic driver's licenses and vehicle license plates. Transportation Secretary Jaime Bautista, meanwhile, said he appreciates the service rendered by Tugade. Senator Grace Poe, who is the chairman of the Committee on Public Services, on the other hand, maintained that the change in leadership in the LTO should not affect the agency's operations. The DOTR, meanwhile, maintained that there is no personal rift between Tugade and Bautista. No specific names have been mentioned yet on Tugade's replacement.
No personal rift, it's just a difference of management style, I would say. No specific names have been mentioned, but these are all appointees of the President. We can only recommend.
President Marcos backs the DSWD's proposal to introduce food stamps to aid starving Filipinos. He says such a move may be financed by the Asian Development Bank. After meeting with ADB President Masatsugu Asakawa on Monday, Marcos said the food stamps program may be funded by the ADB's official development assistance to the Philippines. An SWS survey conducted in March found that 9.8% of Filipino families, around 2.7 million, experience being hungry and not having anything to eat in the first 3 months of the year. The DSWD has proposed to make the food stamps digital to allow recipients to buy food and other provisions in supermarkets. In September last year, the ADB said it is planning to tap its $14 billion fund allocated for Asia and the Pacific's food crisis to help set up a food security program in the Philippines.
One of the things that is in the pipeline that is being developed that is going to be of great assistance to our people is a proposal by the DSWD for a food stamp program, which I was surprised we have never had, but it is something that we can see has been effective in other countries.
Was it a case of being judged too quickly? Some universities have confirmed the scholarship of Julian Martir, who was bashed online for allegedly lying about the 30 college scholarships he received in the United States and the United Kingdom. More on that in this report by Francis Orsio.
Sheldon Cooper ng Pinas, scholarship rank. These were just some of the criticisms received by student Julian Martir. It can be recalled that Julian went viral after receiving acceptance letters from universities in the UK and US. If the value of the scholarship grants received from 30 schools applied to is calculated, it would reportedly amount to $2 million or over 100 million pesos. In 1PH Julius and Tintin, Julian previously shared the difficulties of scholarship application.
Maraming actually process po pag-apply ng application. Sa coalition application po, parang unlimited talaga siya na pwede po kayo apply as many colleges as you want. I'm planning to decide to attend sana po yung Ohio Wesleyan kasi po malaki binigay sa akin ng scholarship po eh.
But these praises were immediately replaced by doubt. Several netizens questioned Julian, claiming that he faked the documents shown in the media. Even his fondness for Marvel movies, which is one of his inspirations, was doubted. Some even criticized media for failing to fact-check Julian's claims. On the contrary, News 5 contacted and sent messages to the universities and colleges where Julian applied to verify. Two responded. One of them was Ohio Wesleyan University in America, which confirmed that Julian was actually accepted to their university with a $40,000 yearly scholarship grant equivalent to over 2.2 million pesos. Alfred University in New York provided a similar response. The other colleges and schools have yet to respond, but the two universities hold proof to Julian's story. Mobile journalist Francis Orsio, We Are One News.
And that's it for this hour. Join us again at 7:45 a.m. as we continue to monitor the day's biggest stories. I'm Diego Castro. We are One News. All sides, all the time.